What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Do me a favor and follow me on Instagram at @bballunlocked. I would definitely appreciate the support. So, breaking news: the Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga have finally agreed to a deal. Now it says here, Kuminga has agreed to a 2-year, $48.5 million contract to return to the Golden State Warriors, and the deal has a team option designed for the contract to be ripped up and renegotiated next summer. Now, if you ask me, this needed to happen. Because recall, about a week ago, we reported that Jimmy Butler, and I think it was actually an ESPN article. So in an ESPN article, it says that Draymond and Jimmy Butler basically reached out to the Warriors front office to try to understand exactly what their plan with Jonathan Kuminga is, right? Because the last thing you want is for something like this to be a distraction. Because there was also another report that came out saying that Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green all wanted Jonathan Kuminga back on the Warriors, and they essentially believe that he can help them compete. Quote, over the last few weeks, the Warriors veterans Curry, Green, and Butler have all communicated with the Dubs, and they trust that a deal will essentially get done. It says here, all three All-Stars want Kuminga back on the roster as his athleticism, durability, and production can't be replicated. If lost, Kuminga's void will be felt throughout the 82-game season. And this is a credible source, by the way, guys, okay? Now, what made me feel a bit iffy about this situation was when this came out, where Jimmy Butler, about a week ago, he hosted a Warriors minicamp in San Diego, and reportedly, every single Warriors player on the roster attended that minicamp, and the only player who wasn't there was Jonathan Kuminga, as he was continuing to seek a new contract. Now, when I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, okay. This needs to, they need to figure something out, because like I said, the last thing you want is this situation to be an issue coming into the locker room, because again, the Warriors are trying to win a championship, and you don't want to deal with these kind of issues. Again, the Warriors offered Kuminga a bevy of options, trade, contracts, and him and his representation essentially rejected every single one. And I don't know if this is a true report. I mean, Sam Amick is a very credible source, right? Because it's also said that the Warriors and Kings have restarted trade talks with they restarted trade talks with the Kings. But the issue is Malik Monk's contract is an issue regarding trying to conjure up some deal. Now, there were two teams involved in this whole situation, the Suns and the Kings, and the Warriors essentially didn't like anything that they had to offer. So this news coming out is very good, because now the Warriors essentially have a deal done, and Kuminga can actually feel like he got what he deserved. Now, obviously, this contract, I think this contract is very smart and flexible, but it's a very tradable contract, and it's basically a potential expiring contract. But let's get into the main point of this article. Let's read this article here. It says, ending a summer-long stalemate, restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga has agreed to a 2-year, $48.5 million deal to return to the Golden State Warriors. Now, the deal includes a team option in the second year that is designed for the Warriors or another team if and when Kuminga, keyword, if and when Kuminga is traded during the upcoming season, to rip up and complete a fresh new contract after the 2025-26 campaign. Also Tuesday, the Warriors agreed to a 1-year deal with free agent Seth Curry, teaming up with Stephen Curry, his older brother, in fact, as training camp begins. However, the Warriors cannot enter the season with 15 standard players on the roster unless they make a trade, but Seth Curry is expected to be on the roster for the majority of the campaign. Ahead of Wednesday's qualifying offer deadline, Kuminga chose the 2-year deal over a proposal of 3 years and $75 million so he can maintain higher level of control over his immediate Warriors future. The Warriors never wavered under team option framework during negotiations. Now, both sides understand the likelihood of exploring trades when Kuminga is eligible to be moved in mid-January. As part of the deal, he's waiving his inherent no trade clause. Now, Kuminga missed Media Day Monday and the first day of Warriors practice Tuesday as the sides finalized the deal. Warriors general manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Kuminga's side have been locked in a stalemate throughout the offseason over the framework of the contract, but Golden State ultimately increased its 2-year offer by a total of $8 million between July and September, and guaranteed Kuminga approximately $15 million more than his 1-year, $8 million qualifying offer would have for this season. Over the past 2 months, the Warriors have had a standing offer of 2 years and $45 million with a team option, and earlier this month offered a 3-year, $75 million contract with a team option and a 3-year, $54 million fully guaranteed deal. Kuminga and his side wanted a player option throughout the negotiations or a higher annual salary with a team option, requests that were denied by the Warriors. Choosing the 2-year structure allows Kuminga to create a decision. This is the good one, guys. Create a decision for whichever team he is on the next next summer, or get to 2027 unrestricted free agency. Now, honestly, I feel like the Warriors are going to utilize Kuminga this season to essentially boost his trade value to make a splash. That's my opinion. Let's continue the article. It says the Warriors made a jump to $48.5 million total over 2 years in the latest and last round of these drawn out negotiations. Kuminga's deal becomes the 4th highest salary on the Warriors books next season, behind Curry, Jimmy Butler III, and Draymond Green, escalating the team's luxury tax penalty by $70 million to a total of over $80 million. By signing Kuminga to a salary of $22.5 million next season, Golden State will still have the flexibility to use its $5.7 million taxpayer bid level exception and sign 2 players to veterans minimums. Gary Payton II signed a 1-year veteran minimums contract with the Warriors on Monday, and we all know Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton and rookie Will Richard have agreed to deals too. Which, by the way, the reason those deals took so long to happen was because of the whole situation with Kuminga. So it's good that they got that done. Now, it says the Phoenix and Sacramento Kings were the strongest suitors. Okay, we spoke about this already. So essentially, the Phoenix Suns and Sacramento Kings were obviously the strongest suitors for Kuminga. But again, the Warriors essentially didn't accept or think what the Suns and Kings offered were, good enough for Kuminga. But all in all, the Warriors and the Kuminga got this deal done. Both sides got it done. But I got to keep it honest with you guys. Listen, I got to keep it honest with you guys. We all know that, well, in my personal opinion, I feel like this is just a 1-year deal, right? Kuminga will go into this season, and play his heart out, and eventually maybe they'll find a different team that will essentially take on his abilities, because the minute the Warriors signed Jimmy Butler, it was the beginning of the end for Kuminga, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think about this topic. Kuminga and the Warriors got this deal done, and it's good. So now they can go into the season with a fresh start, and let's see if they can compete for a championship. Let me know what you guys think about this topic. Peace.